Hello world, I'm Morgan Lee and this is another Nuggets of Knowledge. Today's little nugget is all about methods of supporting our emotional development. So much of our life is consumed by the analytical, the thought process, that unless we're deemed a creative by society, right, unless we're a singer, a performer, an artist, a dancer, unless we're deemed a creative, we really tend to be disconnected from our emotional side. We tend to shut that part off of ourselves. And so today's little nugget of knowledge is all about going back to the basics when we were little kids and bringing in an emotional tool that we've lost as we've grown older. So that tool is called self-soothing. So often we hear this term self-soothing in regards to young children or babies. And it's this whole concept of when you're feeling distressed or when you're feeling some emotional turmoil, being able to be the one that calms yourselves down and gets yourself in a place of balance and maybe happiness again, but it's back to that even emotional level. Now, kids do this and it's instinctual, right? So what the heck has happened from the time that we're kids to the time that we're adults? What happens is usually there's an adult that starts to shame our self-soothing practices. So let me give you an example. My goddaughter is 2.5 and she sucks her thumb for self-soothing. It's her jam, it's her thing. So if she's not able to receive the attention that she wants in a moment because her mom's busy doing something else, or her mom and I are having a conversation and we can't give her our full attention in the moment, she gets really sad. She gets a little upset. And then she starts to cry usually, and then she starts to suck her thumb. And her mother and I do not stop her. We let her do it, and she usually leaves the room, and then she comes back within about 5 minutes, and she is her happy, loving, carefree self again. And she allows herself to feel through her emotion. And she doesn't need her mom to reassure her that things are going to be okay. She's able to do it for herself. So why the heck is that so significant for us as adults? It's because we so rarely slow down enough to give ourselves time to self-soothe. Not only do we not slow down enough to give ourselves time to self-soothe, we don't give ourselves permission to feel through our emotion. We have this unrealistic expectation that because we're an adult, we're supposed to be able to handle every situation perfectly. We are not supposed to get upset or get hysterical, right? But here's the thing, when we do that, we start to villainize our emotions. And there's actually a lot to learn from our emotions. So, rather than villainizing our emotions by suppressing them or avoiding them, we can celebrate them. We can extract learning if we're able to ride the wave of our emotion. So here's a few ways that we can do that. Here's a few ways of self-soothing. We can walk in the woods by ourselves or walk in a quiet nature area by ourselves. We can do self-massage. So often we'll go to other people seeking some touch, some compassionate touch, some caring touch, and we can do it for ourselves. We can give ourselves a shoulder rub, we can give ourselves a hand rub or a foot rub or a head scratch, right? We can also listen to music. If you listen to music that matches the emotion that you're at and really just let yourself sit in that emotion, you'll eventually roll through the emotion and feel a release. Another thing that you can do to self-soothe is take a bath or take a hot shower, even if you've already showered for the day. Like, let that water run past you, right? Whatever it takes to just give yourself a little TLC. Now, here's a caveat. Here's where it gets kind of tangled, self-soothing, right? We are told by our culture, it's actually promoted, that an appropriate way to self-soothe is to do things like eat some comfort food, right? Or like go have a drink or 2 or 3 or 4 after work until you're able to forget about it or until the tension or the pain or the emotional distress subsides, right? But here's the thing with those methods of self-soothing, you're not actually allowing yourself to feel your emotion and to be able to learn from it and step beyond it and come out the other side of it, like my goddaughter does when she takes her 5 minutes to step away, right? When you do methods like eating comfort food and drinking some alcohol, maybe more than you ever would, that's actually contributing to avoiding our emotions and suppressing our emotions. And we don't grow when we avoid things or we suppress things. We really don't grow. It's a temporary fix, it's a temporary band-aid, and we actually stunt our emotional growth. So the reasons why the emotional growth from self-soothing are so important is because it teaches us two very important skills. The first skill is to be able to be alone with our emotions, right? Just being able to be alone is really, really hard already. Being alone with our emotions when we're feeling something pretty powerful, that's an even bigger challenge. So we're building that muscle when we self-soothe. A second thing that's really beneficial to self-soothing is that we learn how to be compassionate towards ourselves. So often we're giving to others, we're understanding of others, we are reassuring of others, but we are our harshest critic. So being able to self-soothe teaches us and builds the muscle of how to have compassion for ourselves. I hope this little nugget of knowledge opens up some emotional space for you, gives you some permission to finally feel into yourself again emotionally when something strikes a chord in you. We are all human and we all need to take the time to allow ourselves to feel. There you have it. If this one sits with you, great, please share it. If not, let it roll off your plate. As always, I'm Morgan Lee. Be well and keep living the lives that you love.